Shock the system.
And we are live right here in living color on this Friday night. I am Louis Perry for the Angrygeeks show, and with me is artist extraordinaire, Microsoft, Nickelodeon, Marvel cards, DC cards. He does it all, the one and only Ron Leary Jr. Ron, what's going on?
Hey, Louis, quite a bit actually, and pretty happy about it.
Good. I'm glad. I want to say hi to everyone. Make sure you comment. Make sure you share. We're waiting for another Angry Geek to show up. It could be Jamie. It could be Ali. We don't know, so it's going to be a surprise. Anyhow, Ron, you got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff on the plate. You were supposed to be at Alternate Universe Comics in Milford, Connecticut for Free Comic Book Day, but unfortunately, that's canceled with the pandemic. But before we get to all that, first, how was the foot and how was the family?
Well, it's my knee. You have the foot issue.
You're right. Anyway, how was listen, buddy, you know what I can do? Hold on. And Ron's mic is muted because he's being a wise guy. Don't piss off an angry geek. And Ron is back. See, it's that simple. Anyhow, go ahead, my friend. Tell the world what's going on.
Okay. Well, yeah. Tell the world what's going on. I think they all know there's a pandemic going on. So there's.
I'm talking about with you. I'm talking about with you.
Yeah. Okay. I got some great news. I was part of a project quite a few years back. I was a concept artist for a movie that's recently been released. It's called Penance Lane, and it stars Tyler Mane and Renee Geerlings, and it was all done with Main Entertainment and Rob Schneider. I'm sorry, the Duke brother, Bo Duke.
John Schneider.
John Schneider, thanks. Dude, and the funny thing is like I'm a huge fan, so that's what kills me. And I knew that you'd get excited because he in Smallville he played Jonathan, so.
Yeah, we interviewed John Schneider.
Yeah. Oh man, it's cool. So anyway, yeah, the movie's been released and it's out now, and it's pretty cool. Pretty soon, they're working on a deal to get it set up so that way you guys can view it on Amazon. If you're into horror films, this is like, right up your alley. This is fantastic. I had a lot of fun. I met Tyler. We were at New York Comic Con, and they were in the booth next to us, which was really cool. They were promoting another book that they were working on called Prey, and he was like the character that he was the base for the character in that book. And so we got to talk, and next thing you know, I was working on his project, and it was really cool.
When you were with Tyler, did you bring up Sabretooth? Did you bring up Joe Dirt? Did you bring up anything like that?
I brought my eyes up. I'm usually a tall guy, but yeah, he like towered over me, so it was kind of like, wow. So yeah, I mean, he was perfect for Sabretooth, as far as like the size and the way that he acted. I liked it, and I liked the size comparison between him and Hugh Jackman. I thought that was really cool because, I liked when Wolverine was drawn in the comics, they always had like that size issue, so you could kind of see a difference in the character builds. And so when you got to see that in the movie, it was just like, wow, this guy is like a massive presence. He is intimidating. Yeah.
All right, and with us finally is Ali Montgomery. Ali,
Sorry, I'm
we were
late.
just talking about. Yes, you are late. We were just talking about the movie. Did you watch the movie this afternoon?
No, unfortunately.
Oh, you did not watch it. Okay, so neither.
Don't you start, Mr. 4 weeks and counting. I'm gonna watch.
It's your job to be the movie critic. It's your job to be the movie critic, not mine. I am the star. I am the producer. I am the publicist. I am the guy that doesn't watch movies.
What? You watch more movies than I can think of.
Shut up, Ron. You're not helping the situation. I tasked Ali to watch this movie.
Oh, okay.
I'll watch it tonight. I'll watch it tonight, Ron. And
I have to have the lights on.
Yes,
I'm not a horror fan. I'm like, when I follow the horror, I'm like this. Oh, I'm not a horror fan, and I got
neither am I.
Right.
Neither am I. I'm not a horror. That's why I didn't watch it, Ali. That's why I didn't watch Case 347 yet. I'm not a horror guy, and I don't want to wet the bed or anything. That's why I asked you to do it.
Oh, get Tim Wiley to watch it.
Yeah, I could do that. I know we could get Tim to watch it.
He's a
we got
huge
2
horror fan.
right.
If you want to get, he's huge into horror, and he loves the special effects, and because he does that special effects house in.
And go ahead.
I'm sorry. I thought you shut my mic off again.
Eli, always hyped up, brother, especially to see you. I do have to talk to you and Liz. I got something cooking, and I need to talk to you guys about it.
Can we let Ron, since he's the guest, talk, please?
Hi, Ali.
And guess what? Ali is now muted.
Oh.
And
I will move.
Ali, I'm sure he gets muted all the time.
It's like sometimes I don't even know I'm on the show. Like this, like I was doing something. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Ron, tell us a little bit more about the project. I know it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
What was the premise of it? Did you know any of the premise? How long did it take you to do all this? Just lay it on us, man.
Well, they sent. Okay, so it was really cool because I got to see like the storyboards, and their storyboard artist it blew my mind. I was like, this guy's not drawing comics. Well, Renee has a background in comics anyway, from over an Image.
Okay.
And right. And I got to work with. Well, after doing this project, I also got to work with her doing a special cover for Darby Pop. I did a special cover called The Seventh Sword, and that was a blast. That was basically me starting to get back into doing comic covers to begin with. So that was pretty cool because I was spending more of my time working on marketing and product development and doing concept art, which is where it started. Okay. And so then I got back into doing the comic covers. So,
do you prefer the concept art over the comic covers? I mean, which is more to your appeal?
I like both because when it's a cover piece, it's kind of fun because it's like going to a friend's house and they break out all their really cool toys and you get to play.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And then
that doesn't happen when you come over my house.
Oh, I will break them open.
I've been trying for 8 years now. I've been trying for 8 years now. Good luck, Ron.
Oh, yeah. It's once you're in, it's kind of like It's not so bad. Basically, it's the editors and stuff that you got to get in with. Other artists, typically it's always nice to hang out with them, especially it's like because as far as like other people are now getting used to this isolation thing, but when you're an artist, you're usually this is your life anyway.
Now, Ryan, I wanted to ask. Your work is beautiful. I actually bought a couple of your pieces a while back.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
We met back in you did when eFilm Mall did like a small con, and he had like actually was your heavy metal piece that I bought.
Oh, cool. All right, so I've done 2 heavy metal covers.
It was the one with the snake. It was like
okay, yeah, the Astrid piece, yeah.
Yeah, like in fact, I had to buy both because like it was like they both came together like this. Like I can't take one without the other, so I bought both.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, work, man. I wanted to ask. I know you do a lot of covers. Have you ever been interested in doing interior work, like
Well, back in 1994, I started Redline Comics, and I went into doing self-publishing.
Okay.
And I learned a lot during that. And I props to all you self-publishing guys out there that are trying to get a book done. I mean, it's a lot of work, and there's a lot of hats that you got to wear. And there's usually you're learning on the go. So, mad props, for those that can pull it off. It was a big learning curve for me. From that, I ended up going and working for a publisher for the next 16 years, doing lots of commercial work. And then from there, I was also freelancing, doing concept art for video games and Nickelodeon, doing merchandising, Lego, Ninjago characters, which was a blast. That was really cool. And the people at Lego were fantastic. And, I can't complain about any of it.
How do you go about the concept?
From a concept?
Yeah, how do you go?
Well, it's a lot like working in a comic book, because you're drawing your own books, you're writing your own stuff. You have an idea in your head. So does the script writer that's come up with this, or the plot, everything. So they have an idea. They have actors that they envision as being part of this. So they kind of bring that to your attention as kind of like a direction. They're using other visual descriptors from other films or other games, other books, and they give you all of this information to pull from and to give you kind of a size, ethnic, that they're looking for, or some sort of background. If you got like a historical features that they want to add into it, so if there's like runes or something that you're going to be placing into the scenes, or to the costumes. So yeah, most of the time it's the writer has an idea and a vision, and they throw all this stuff at you, and you're looking at like pages and pages of material, and then you're just like, okay, all right, let me see what I can do. and you come up with about like 20 different designs, and you lay them out. I've been doing it for a while, so I don't really have to go to that extreme with like 20 of them anymore. In the beginning, it felt like that, because it was like you'd start something and they'd say, well, I like this from number 3, and then this one over here with number 6. I really like the armbands on this one. Can we go with that? And so then you start piecing it together.
So
go ahead.
I'm not sure that me in the background. Not sure. I hope that's okay. Okay. Well, I want to ask next was, I know you do acrylic painting, and am I correct?
Yes.
Do you also do digital? And if so, which one do you find more? It kind of seemed like it should be an easy answer, but yes. I mean,
no. There's no easy answers.
More.
It depends on my time frame, to be honest. And sometimes I do both. Okay, but it started off. I used to be, okay, I'm going to give you the whole history, okay, because I can't tell a short story worth beans. So it goes like this.
Louis does that to me all the time.
Are you okay with this?
Hey,
No,
I'm busy over
no,
here working. I'm answering people.
Okay.
I'm having
Hey,
fun.
Ron the guest, be quiet, sir.
Allie's got a good question. Well, to be honest with
Ali,
you,
social distancing. Wear your mask.
when it came to colors, I was horrible. Matter of fact, it was my weakest ability. If I couldn't, I had to go back to pencils because it was like that was where my safe zone. I learned black and whites. I studied black and white photography. I worked with the gray scales, and for the life of me, when I was drawing, I was always wanted to draw something that was like realistic. You know, Norman Rockwell was somebody that I liked. You know, and then there was well, most of the stuff I liked was all the fantasy art on the movie posters that we would see at like the video store, you know, and it would like blow my mind, you know, and the book covers, you know, these things were what drew me in long before comics. I enjoyed comics, but it was more of those in-depth paintings and pieces that really drew me in, like the Conan covers and lots of the fantasy stuff. So penciling was my start. I saw one of the first books I got on painting was a Boris Vallejo book, where he went through his whole process, where he did like his photography to set up the lighting and then did the drawing. And I was blown away. I was like, wow, really? All this work to get into that one painting? And then obviously there's reasons for it. You know, it took me a while to figure, you know, it's like to have patience. It's like it's never going to be like the first piece. You know, you'll find out like painters, they usually draw the piece like 3 or 4 times and then do the painting, you know, when they do the final. And then sometimes, and I know I'm getting a little off track.
No,
Oh, keep going, Roger.
Okay.
Keep going.
But what kind of built all this up was my colors were horrible. I was doing penciling. My father turned around, he looked at me, and he was just like, so that's it? You're just going to give up on the colors? And he's like, because if you want to do this guy's type of work, you're going to have to learn this. And I studied more and more of the black and whites. And then all of a sudden, and I was looking at what Boris had done, and then I was just like, wait a second. And then all of a sudden it clicked. And I was like, no kidding. So I figured out how the lighting worked, because it was like I was looking at his stuff, and then I saw like these Greg Hildebrandt cards that came out for like the Marvel Masterpieces. And I was like, huh. But he had like these intense colors. But because they were so intense, it was easy to break down how the colors actually worked on the piece, how the lighting actually helped round out the objects, and how the reflective light was working. And I was just like, you got to be kidding. That's it? That's how it works? This is fantastic. It had to be that much contrast for me to figure out, because the oil paintings were all smudged together. If you ever look at like the old paintings, I mean, they all look like they're all kind of muddy, you know, and it's like dark. You don't really see it until you go to a museum, and then you can see them in person, and then it's a totally different story. But when you were looking at them in books, everything always seemed dark and everything's in a shade, you know. But when you see them up close, you can actually see all those bright, intense colors, and you can see all the things that Greg Hildebrandt was doing. The same things, just more simplified with the way the lighting was. And when I say simplified, I don't mean it like this is easy stuff to do. If somebody can make it look simple, you see like animators do this stuff all the time. If you can make it look simple, that's hard as hell, because it's like it's totally fooling everybody else that looks at it, going like, oh, I think I can do this too. It's like, not that quickly, you can't. You know, this guy's got like hours and hours and years figuring this stuff out to develop a style or a unique look to actually be able to pull off something quickly and make it look easy. And when it came with colors, I started off with markers, because you couldn't erase the markers and they were cheap, and I had those. Then I worked my way up to airbrushing, because airbrushing at the time, everybody was getting like airbrush t-shirts when they'd go to spring break and stuff like that. And So I started doing some of that, and then, which was a pain. I couldn't stand it at all. It's great for backgrounds, but I can't stand using it.
I can understand.
It's like, I have one airbrush. It's like, and then it was every time it clog up or the paints would gum up because you're taking too long or whatever. And I know I'm getting technical and Lewis is getting all itchy in the pants here. But then I moved on to doing acrylics, and I went and I talked to a guy. It was at a comic. He was doing a comic signing, and I can't remember who the guy's name was. But he looked at my stuff. He looked at my work, and he was just like, "Oh, you'll never make it in comics. You draw too real." And I was just like, "Oh, okay." So
for dinner.
I did, didn't I? Yeah, because it sticks with you. It's just like, yeah, all right, won't draw comics because I got to draw like you. I don't think so. But, and I was like, okay, whatever. So then I ended up working digital. I started learning how to do digital when I was doing publishing because it was, I wanted the book to be in color. And I had hired Zia Adams at the time, who ended up teaching me a few tricks with Photoshop. And at the time, it was kind of cool because back in the early 90s, the only people that were doing digital colors really were Image Comics, and I think they were getting it done through.
Were they also?
There was another company that they were working with that was doing the coloring for them.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyway, I liked their look of the books. Obviously, they were the thing at the time. And I started mimicking, because after that guy told me, I was like, I wouldn't work in comics, and I was just like, oh, okay. So I started looking at the people that were really big at the time. And so I started looking at their styles and seeing how they did things. And, obviously Jim Lee was like he's the king of the nest, so king of the hill, whatever you want to call it. So yeah.
This ain't you want to more of comic book artists. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alex Ross, Todd McFarlane. How can I forget Jack Kirby?
Well, that's what was kind of funny, because during that time frame too, with Image being as hot as they were, then all of a sudden Marvels came out, and that had the Alex Ross look, with the whole look real. And then I was going crazy because I was just like, well, would you look at that?
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Let's get to some comments here. We got Anne Marie Donahue. Matches agree. It's super interesting. Listen to him talk about the learning process. Matches Malone. Ron's work is phenomenal. Love his creations. William Pace, the jabroni himself, comes in. And yeah, who wants realism in comics?
Now that's all you hear in comics like this. You need to practice your anatomy, do your anatomy more. And
I want to give a shout. Hold on one second, Ali. I want to give a shout out to Brian Rose, a great independent comic book creator, rather. Excuse me. I got a piece of his work. Brian, I want to say hi. We got to get you on the show. Also, Paulie G in the house. And he's saying hi to Michael Burgee. Burgee, I love you, brother. Much respect. And, of course, we got J-Bo McNeil and Ty hanging out with us as well tonight. I want to welcome you all to the live Angry Geek Show. And not to mention the one and only Batman, Matches Malone. Matches, I don't know why your volume keeps cutting out. Yeah, I don't know, brother. Like, get on the bat wave, as William Pace would say. And
this is Louis' big moment.
Get that big thing. My big moment. And as other people were saying, as Dennis McKnight would say, remember, with great power comes great responsibility, and the mute button. Don't forget that, Ali.
Yes.
Anyhow, Ron, pound for pound, who is the best?
Coming from where?
So, Ron, pound for pound,
Ow. Did I hear any requests?
All right, so I got some other stuff. I got other news too. So I've been doing a lot of covers.
It's not about you. This is not about you. Hold on a second. It's like the most important person in the world here, and you two are having a conversation going on. All right? Now.
He been doing this. He been watching you do this all day. Like,
yeah, because I'm pointing the comments at the people watching. This is an interactive experience, Ali.
Lou.
I don't see. I can't see any of that. So
that's why I'm trying to show you, Ron.
Oh
God. Anyway, Ron, pound for pound, who is the best artist that you think is out there today? And the man is silent, and I did not mute his mic.
Why do you ask like a big old trigonometry question? Or why don't?
Hey, look at that! It's all about Lewis.
If you saw my, all right. So I follow like more people than I probably should because I spend so much time looking at other people's work and going like, wow, just people blowing my mind. I know that like I can't name them all, dude. That's not fair.
Guys, hold on one quick second. This is a very special person I want to say hi to, all the way from Japan, the world's biggest Hawkman collector and fan himself, Tim Board, all the way from Japan. Tim, thank you so much for jumping on, brother. I hope you're safe out there. All the best to you and your family. This cat runs the biggest Facebook group called Hawk World. He's also running a website all devoted to Hawkman. He is an amazing cat. I had him on the Angry Geek show before. Tim, much love, brother. Much love, much respect. Okay,
thanks, Tim.
Go on.
Back to similar what I want to say when you brought up Alec Ross. Alec Ross usually use himself as models for his characters, which is kind of scary when you think of Wonder Woman. But who do you use for model when you do your painting, or do you just like use your imagination? No, Lou, it's not about you.
No, you're right, and it's a lot like animators. I'll look at myself more than before I look for anything because I'm usually under a tight deadline. Okay. So I'll use the camera in the computer, or I will set up a photo shoot. If I'm using obviously I'm not going to model for the female models. I'll hire somebody, or I'll.
Alex does.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing a lot of Zenescope covers now, so I'm getting very familiar.
So Ron, let's go back. You talked about Zia Adams, the daughter of Neil Adams. I just wanted to throw that out there. People saying, who is this? The name sounds familiar. I just wanted to throw that name out there. Ron, who's your favorite collaborator? Who do you like working with? I know you do a lot of your own inking, but if you had to choose someone to ink, who would you work with?
Ooh. I've done a few pieces with a couple of guys that we already know. Like Jack Purcell, I worked with him. I did a Batman piece for him. And then I did a Wonder Woman, and I did a Star Wars piece, and a what the heck is her name? Korra, the Avatar. And I did those with oh God, man, you got me on the spot here. Tony, KL. Cordos. Thank you, Tony Cordos.
Now you
say fantastic. Oh my God, his details are incredible. If you ever seen like his work on Cyborg, it was insane.
Cyborg. Yes. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Okay.
Yeah. No. Yeah, he's got some amazing inks.
I really bought the comic book, but I barely read it. But I just know I was fascinated with the artwork. Like the artwork alone, the reason why I got that book.
Well, it's funny because I met him. We were at Terrific Con, and he was sitting next to me, and he was working on the pages, and it blew my mind. I could see him inking the pieces right there, and I was like, "Are you doing any commissions?" And he goes, well, right now I'm trying to make a deadline, but you're not in a rush. And so then we got to talking, and then I did the Cora piece with him first, and because I loved how he was doing all the textures and everything with her being the elemental with all the pieces. It was fantastic. He did awesome.
Cool.
Guys, hold on. I have to give a quick shout out to my biggest fan, Mom. I love you to death. I hope you're okay. And yes, I gotta say, Mom, that's for you, Mom. Love you.
Hi, Louie, Mom.
Hi, Louie's mom.
Hold it. Let me clarify. That is J-Bo McNeil's mother-in-law. She, to me, is Mom as well. She's my biggest fan. She loves me, and that's who that is. I just wanted to say hi and all my love.
Do we still say hi, Louie, Mom?
Hi, Louie's mom.
Yeah, I didn't invite her. My brother's watching.
That's J-Bo's mom?
That was Ty. That's J-Bo's wife, but that's J-Bo's mother-in-law that says hi, Louie, with the heart. She loves me. What can I say? I
were you at Bacon Fest when we went to Bacon Fest?
I was at Bacon Fest. Jamie and I were at Bacon Fest last year, and I was at Bacon Fest with Jamie not the year before, but the year prior. The second Bacon Fest, I couldn't make it. Schedule conflicts and stuff like that, so I couldn't make it then, but I was there. Paulie G after the Angry Geek Show, Nerdy Game and Talk with J-Bo and yours truly. That's right. Give yourself a plug, brother. Maybe I'll jump in with you. So yeah, I wasn't at Bacon Fest, the second Bacon Fest. It's just scheduling conflicts. But the first one and last year's, Jamie and I were both there. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, no, I there was a show that we did in Massachusetts, and
look at that. She adores Lewis. Yes. I love you too, Mom.
Yeah, mom always takes priority. We know how that goes. Never argue with mom.
Rob, no, you can't. Rob, what's some of the newest stuff that you got coming out? Do you have any more projects coming?
Yeah, actually, I just got done doing another Vampirella cover. This was with Unknown Comics. It's another variant with Unknown, and the guys over there are fantastic. If you are looking at picking up rare or limited edition books, this is the place to go. These guys are great.
Unknown. All right, where's that? Unknown Comics.
Well, they're online. They're an online shop. They do have a place. The other one that I go to is Clan McDonald's. And they're, to be honest, as far as locations go, because I deal with everybody online, I really don't really pay attention to that till I have to mail out the books. Because so I've done variants for him as well. The first variant I did for Clan McDonald was a Vampirella. It was for issue number 1 for their launch. And then let's see. Yeah, and I got on to doing that after I did the ones for Comic Exposure. I had done the Hit Girl and Kick Ass issue number 1s, and then I did a lot of number 1s. Yeah, Zombie Tramp, Zombie Tramp was kind of funny. That was kind of like as soon as
funny book, man.
Oh, dude! All right, again, independent publishers, fantastic. I mean, they've got amazing stories, stuff that's like off the walls, which is great. And I had never heard of this, and Comic Exposure was telling me about it, and I was like, okay, all right, I'll do this because I'm looking to expand my viewers anyway. And so we did this, and it was hysterical. I mean, the book was so funny, and I was just like, really? This is pretty cool. This could be like this weird teeny bop obviously it's adult. It's adult, but it's funny. And so
you weren't privy to Zombie Tramp at all before that?
No, that was the funny thing because
really? It's funny. I got turned on to that book. Pardon the pun.
I'm sure you did
during comic book day. They gave it away at free comic book day, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I love the style of the art inside. The creator is friggin' brilliant, and I thought it was a hilarious book. There it is, right there. Move it over a little bit more, Ron, the other way. Yes, that's the book is fun. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It is funny.
When I first heard about it, I didn't think it was actually a real book like this. Like someone pulling my leg. Like when I saw, like I'm seeing it now, like, oh wow, this is the real thing. Okay, I gotta get in. I gotta get on this.
It's funny.
Well, that's what they told me. They said you got to try this book. Just read it, and then if you want to do it, we'll do this. And then so I did, and I was like, hey, this is actually kind of fun. I'm enjoying the book. It's really good. So I had fun doing that. And the issue that I did the cover for was, I guess, the original character's last issue of being the zombie tramp, because I guess that's where she breaks the curse, you know. So not to give it away, but it's an older
curse. So now you know. So now you just like you treat people even more. Now they gotta read the book like, oh, she broke the curse. I wonder what she did.
Yeah, there's a curse. Yeah. And then there's
You do that in acrylics, or did you do that digital?
Oh, that was digital. Start out. I usually start with pencils because I kind of want to have an original. So once it's done, I want to have the original piece.
Oh, Angrygeeks. Ron, sign my #1 hit girl, bitch. There it is, Paulie. There it is, right there, brother. Now, just to let everyone know, Jamie does have the link to come in, but she may be working. She's out there on the front line, so I don't want to disappoint anyone. That's what I was doing earlier on my phone, sending her the links and making sure that she's okay. But she's probably
Wonder Woman has a job to do.
Yes, Wonder Woman's super busy these days. Super busy. Part of the pun there too. Of course. Now, Ron, video game covers. You still working on? Hold on. Okay. Special person in the house. Hi, Scarlett.
Hi, Scarlett.
Love you. Bob wanted to say hi. Anyway, are you working on anything? Video games? Have you done another cover lately, or no?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I've got another cover coming out. A couple years back, I started a series with a writer named Curtis Berry, and it's called The Walker Chronicles, and I'm working on book number 3, the novel cover for that one. As far as the video games go, the last one I did was the last big one was with like Hit Point and Microsoft, and that one was Adara. And they contacted me as soon as they got the rights back to the game from Microsoft, and they re-released it so that way you could use it on your mobile phones and apps or computers. So that was really cool. Matter of fact, that was the first time a cosplayer had contacted me because she was dressed up and did a photo shoot dressed as the main character, which I thought was cool. Super cool.
All right. Now, Ron, before I interrupt and start reading comments, you said you had another announcement, more things to talk about. Why don't you lay that on us as I post some more comments up?
Oh, yeah. Well, we started talking about some of it already, like with Unknown doing like the covers. I've got 2 covers that I'm working on for him. The Vampirella. As soon as everybody had pencils down, but that really didn't stop production on a lot of the other publishers. I mean, like the major publishers, they all called pencils down, but if you don't work for them, you're working for somebody else. I don't have any contracts that adhere me to being only working for one publisher. So I was picking up those. I still have other projects that I work on too, like the commercial work. Matter of fact, before we got on to here, I was like about 2 hours ago, I had submitted in like a couple more character designs for another commercial piece. So
anything you could talk about?
No. No, I can't talk about that because those things aren't, they don't like
No,
that.
that's fine. Brian Rose, I wanted to do video games for a while. Thought the project, throw the project. I'm part of right now. It's still taking some times.
Not sure I follow.
Either
project
video games. I wanted to do video game for a while. So I think maybe he wanted, though the project I'm part of right now is still taking some time.
Okay, well, it all depends. All of these things are going to take time, especially if you're on the beginning section. Oh, hey, Andrew, I see
Godzilla
it.
himself. Yeah.
Power Ranger.
He's also Godzilla.
I know. No, Andrew's cool. He's got a few pieces from me too. Like I did a piece for him of from Rebels. I did Ren for him. That one was really cool.
No, Andrew's a good cat. I love to get to death.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I forgot where the heck I was.
We were talking
about Brian Rose. We were talking about Brian Rose and his hieroglyphic comment that no one could decipher, but yes, he had a typo.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I myself on the back, I kind of decipher it myself.
Yeah, okay. He wants to get into video games, and it's taking him Sabine, yes, and the Pink Ninja, yeah. That's pretty cool. They were both really great. So anyway, video games. Okay. Video games are tough. If you're working in animation, it's tough too. Like my daughter, she wants to get into animation. And so I keep talking to her, and it's kind of hard because it's like I know that when I wanted to become an artist, I had a lot of people were like, that's not a real job, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And so with video games, it's pretty much the same thing. There's studios that, back when I got into it, there were studios popping up left and right, and they were getting bought up by like major production houses like Microsoft and others similar to that, and they were buying them up all over the place. And then as soon as a project was done, of course, it's like, well, now we got to drop you all, so then there's another studio would pop up someplace else, usually the same guys. So getting in with something is kind of like you got to be part of the clubhouse to get in with the group, or you got to do something. I mean, it's just like comics. Comics, everybody's pretty much the same way.
With a Disney artist, he used to joke around about if a Disney artist lost a job, he would have killed next door because there was Warner Brothers, and right next to Warner Brothers with DreamWorks. So they were always job waiting for around the corner, literally.
Well, you also got to be at the right place at the right time. If the productions are already in works, they're not just going to bring you in. That's throwing a wrench into the works because you've got everybody already assigned to the workflow. So you can't really just do that. And usually a production on a film or something, if you've watched how these movies, when they start them, it's like they're 5 years in the making and then they finally come out. It's ridiculous. Some of them have started like they're going faster, and I'm not sure that's such a great thing. But
now, why is
that? That's what I was trying to tell my daughter. I was like, when you're, and that's the other thing too, is I'm being straightforward with her from the get-go, so she's got an idea of what this is really going to take to get into this. Because there's like these schools all over the place that call themselves art schools or whatever, and you have to. And they're basically they're making their money off the hopes and dreams, right? But and that's great because if they're giving the skills, back, and if they're not, then it's horrible. I hate that they do those things because it's a trade, it's a skill, it's a trade. You find somebody that you can mentor you or you can learn from. That's the strongest way to build up your skill sets. And then you can actually do the job. I don't like the fact that there's a lot of these education places that just turn around, and I know I'm going to get screwed now just now this is all over the internet. Well, I mean, it's true though. This is it. This is a skill. This is a trade skill that you're getting taught, and you're learning these things, and you'll hear people talk about like, are you an artist or you're a technician? It's like, bitch, please, you're both. If you're not, then you're not paying attention, because you got to know
The
how to
views
do
expressed by Ron
things.
Larry Jr. are not necessarily those of the Angry Geek Show. It's all good, Ron. This is your time. This is your time to talk. Tell everyone
Well,
what's on
I
your
want,
mind, on
no,
your heart.
because I'll be honest with you, because you know what, I had a girl come up to me at a show, and I almost broke down into tears because she turns around and she shows me this piece, and I know she's drawing, and it's part of her school course, right? And they turn around and they said, look, here's a photograph, draw this, right? But they didn't tell her why she's drawing this or what to look at while she's drawing this, just replicate it. And I was like, what? I was like, okay, what do you know about the composition? And she goes, what do you mean? She goes, I'm just trying to draw it. And I'm like, oh, honey, you're missing the whole point. And the teacher's not telling you, right? The whole, you're looking at what made this photograph beautiful. What made it so nice to look at? And it was a girl holding a cat, And I was like, you got to understand. Okay, so they're pulling at your heartstrings already because you're a young girl. This is, you can relate to this object, right? The cat, okay. But that in general is fine. But now you're looking at the composition and the lighting, and this is what's telling you the story, and this is what's drawing you in. Okay, you have your elements, and then you have the things that are helping you tell the story, and you're trying to replicate it. And I said, but you need to understand what you're looking at. And she started to like tear up, and she goes, nobody's told me that. And I'm like, oh my God, honey. I'm like, okay, I really don't want you to I want you to understand, I'm not telling you that you're wasting your time. Okay, you're building up skills that you're going to need anyway. Okay, but I want you to start taking a look at why and asking yourself the questions. What is drawing you into this? What is making you look at that to begin with? Why are you spending more than 5 seconds looking at something? If you ever looked at a magazine and just flipped right through it, right? It's like, what made you stop on a certain page? Well, take a look, because you're going to need that information for the next project that you work on. I hope that helps.
What's your? No. Have you decided to mentor someone? We talked to Buzz. I know you know who Buzz is. He's mentoring someone. Have you decided to say, hey, let me take this person outside the family and mentor he or she? Have you thought of doing that? You and I have private conversations about comic book stores, art schools, so on and so forth. But have you? And I don't want to get into that right here. But have you ever thought about mentoring someone outside the family?
Well, my kids don't listen to me either, so it's.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Outside the family, have you thought about doing that? I mean, have you seen someone with such raw talent that you're like, this person could be amazing if they just had the right tutor, the right mentor, and they're like, here's my card, call me. No, okay.
No, because when I was coming up, and it's not a selfish reason, it's just that when I was coming up, that information, I wasn't privy to it. There was nothing around. I had the library. When I asked the counselor, I was like, I want to get into doing artwork or whatever, right? They said, well, look it up in the library. They couldn't even tell me what art schools were around that I could deal with. So it was like, what the hell am I doing here? Nothing here is of interest to me. And
Okay.
I couldn't find anything. And as far as like conventions go, I wasn't, I didn't know I could go up to an artist at a show and talk to them. Here's the other part. I was bad with names. So if I didn't have the book in front of me with their name, and I know that they probably have their books in front of them, that they worked on, I know that stuff now. But as a kid, I was like, I I don't know what to do when I get there or how this works or anything. And, I doubt that they're going to want to talk to me, because what artist is going to want to tell you how to take their job? Nobody. That's ridiculous. Why would anybody want to do such a thing? As far as mentoring, I think that there are so many tutorials or live stream videos that are out there showing different styles and techniques that you as an individual would have an interest in. You're already watching it. Just pay attention, see how they're doing it, and then go ahead and try to do it. The best way to train yourself is to just do it. And that's pretty much it. Like I said, it's a skill. You don't tell a welder that it's like, I'm looking for like certain type of welding spots, that I want to have these smooth circles, it's like, and they've never done it before. You got to practice in order to get good at anything. And the other thing I tell people is like, because I've seen people that are like new coming out, and then they see what other artists are charging for commissions and costs like that. And I'm like, look, you're up and coming, you're new, you're starting out. A lot of these guys are, we've been around for a while. We know what we're doing, and I'm not saying that you don't. I'm just saying that it's like, do more, right? So if you charge, if you charge what you think you're worth, which is fine, but I mean, there's some people that I think don't charge enough, and then there's other people I think charge way too much. And sometimes I look at stuff that I really want, and I'm like, oh my God, that piece is fantastic. I gotta have that. It's like, man, it's got a Captain America. He's beating Red Skull. I really want that piece. And then but it's out of my price range. And then I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, I really want that bad. Why am I drawing? And I'm like, I guess I don't want that.
Okay, so, speaking of that, who's your favorite character to draw? It's a question I never asked you.
My favorite character to draw. Wow. I don't know, man.
Look around the geek layer. You've been in here twice.
To draw one time.
What was that?
Has there ever been a character that you haven't drawn yet that you would like to be asked to draw one?
Well, actually, it's funny. I hadn't been asked to do Red Sonja, and I'm drawing one for my. Yeah, serious. I know, right? I'm actually doing one for myself. I'm doing a painting, and I'm doing it kind of like. I guess it's based off Red Sonja, but it's not really Red Sonja, because I'm not doing the plate mail bikini.
Oh yeah, well, I figured. Yeah.
No, I like Vikings. I like Vikings. So I like that time period type of Dungeons and Dragons type of stuff. See that?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm cutting you off.
It's okay. So basically, the warrior piece that I'm working on it's basically a red-haired Viking girl that I'm just calling Red Sonja, because I don't have a name for it yet.
The reason why I was surprised, because usually when I hear people do Vampirella, it's like I'm pretty sure they've been asked to draw Red Sonja also. They usually go hand in hand.
Same publisher right now, yeah.
Yeah, like, you did Vampirella. Can you do Red Sonja also like this? Well, since I'm here, yeah.
No, I hadn't been asked to draw her yet, so I was. I'm kind of thrilled. I see everybody else drawing her. See, I like Conan the movie. I loved Conan the movie, and I love the books, the comic books.
What about the cartoon?
No, I'm going to say no. It's almost like you like Rambo the cartoon. No, I don't.
I'm with you, Ron. I didn't like the cartoon either.
Anyway, Ron, what I would like to see, I never seen you a Jonah Hex from you. I think Jonah Hex would definitely fit your style.
Matt Herring probably would go crazy on that.
Yeah, Jonah Hex would definitely fit your style for sure.
Yeah, I like the Old West stuff. I like that. Those are things I used to watch all the time.
Mhm.
And then, a matter of fact, I was made a comment on I'm sorry, Art Thiebert's page, because he had done a piece of the Scarecrow. Back in the day, Disney had a black and white TV show called The Scarecrow, and it was like during like the Revolution.
I was just watching.
Yeah, Disney. You know, the greatest thing about Disney TV is the fact that they actually have these old shows, so you can actually sit there and watch them again. I loved them. And then League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. When I saw his painting up on the wall, I was like, "Oh, that's so awesome!"
I like it. There's all like Scarecrow.
Yeah, exactly. That's how I was, you know. And because I used to like that, and I used to like the Mark of Zorro. I used to love watching those shows. So
Guy Williams.
yeah, exactly. And then when I saw like Mike Mayhew was showing his Zorro pieces, and because he had done those books, that was like his entrance in, you know, getting into the books. And man, his fabric on the black was, you know, it was just so smooth. It just looked so cool. And it's funny when you watch those old shows, you get to see how they just beef up the contrast to show it look like it's at night. So it's like, because they obviously film it during the day, because you can see the shadows being cast from like the well that they keep riding by.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just like, well, that's totally during the daytime.
So you
But
like
you
it,
see,
you like
go ahead, Ollie.
bright for a nighttime.
Yeah.
You gotta look at it this way: when you're a kid, when you and I were kids, rather,
Okay.
and that was on the Mickey Mouse Club on the afternoons. That was all we had. Just like the George Reeves Superman, just like Adam West Batman, Linda Carter Wonder Woman, $6 Million Man. That's all we had. So that was the coolest thing in the world. We didn't pick up on that stuff back then. Now that we watch it and we say,
We didn't
"Oh my
care.
God."
We didn't
I
care.
know we didn't care. It's just like when Adam West and Burt Ward are climbing up the side of the building. You could see the fishing wire holding the cape. We didn't care because it was the coolest thing in the world. Today's kids are totally spoiled.
Well, we had to wait till it came on. So when we would hear, like, we'd be outside playing with our friends, and then all of a sudden you'd hear like, "Hey, the Batman movie's on." You'd be like, "Dude, see ya," and then go run into the house. So you could watch it.
You'll be playing like outside playing jacks or marbles. Do 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 do. Then you hear that music. Da, 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 you're like, "Oh, Batman!" And you would just run inside. I mean, that's how I learned to tell time. Because 4:30 was Batman, 5 o'clock was Lone Ranger, 5:30 was the Green Hornet or Superman, and at 6 o'clock was Star Trek. That's how I learned to tell time.
Oh
Plain
yeah,
and
dinner.
simple.
Yeah,
Because
Star Trek at dinner. Yeah.
Yeah, me and my pop, that's what we did. That's it. I mean, and 8 o'clock Tuesday nights. It's, hey, I knew it's Tuesday and I know it's 8 o'clock because Happy Days was on. That's how I learned how to tell time.
Where'd Allie go?
I don't know where he went.
Allie, you still there?
Uh-oh. Your browser has lost connection. Your browser.
We can still hear you.
He's still out there. We can still hear you, Ali.
Yeah, I mean, I'm reading it right now. It says your browser has lost connection to your camera. Make sure you have the right camera selected. That's weird. Never done it before. Restart your browser or computer to continue. I'll be right back, guys. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So
and now that he's gone, let's talk about him.
No, that's no.
No, it's not rude at all.
There you go. Now it's all you.
Now it's all, well, that's what it's all about. All me. That's right. And
hey,
damn it, he's back.
Is that where your tattoo? Is that where your tattoo went on the arm?
Yeah, both of them. Why? I got.
Turtle.
You got Stitch.
Yeah.
And you got Simba, and then Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, and then the Lantern, Flash, and Robin.
Okay.
What?
Right.
Okay, what?
Oh no!
Hey,
I thought you were gonna have them all go down one side of the arm. Like,
I don't know. I think I'm gonna talk to one of my tattoo artists. I'm thinking about putting my arms together, having Hal here and Sinestro here with the rings touching. I think that would be pretty cool.
okay.
All right.
You know the classic cover.
Oh,
What do you
no,
mean?
I get
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I go like that. They go together. You don't think that's cool?
No, it's fine. It's just my daughter's huge into Friends, and this meant something else.
Oh,
You didn't watch
look at my
Friends?
rack. You see my rack? Look at my
I see.
rack.
Nice rack.
I know. It's beautiful.
I'm jealous. I'm actually jealous because I'd love to have that at the studio. So I might.
Ron, I wanted to ask, do you get
Look at
to show your prints of like when you do projects and commissions of you were saying for studios or commercial art? Do they allow you to also sell those prints online, or is that like it once you do come in front, it's licensed and then you have to go through them?
Well, it depends because they got comps that they'll give you. And sometimes a studio will give me pieces. I'll ask for them and they'll just give them to me because they have like a plethora of them. Other times, the publisher will turn around and they'll give me comps at a discount. Like I can buy more pieces, and then those I'll bring. Licensing stuff. You could do licensing. You can get a license and do a special limited edition piece.
Okay.
That costs a considerable amount of money. I know that it's basically the same thing as like the exclusives that a lot of these vendors, retailers will do. They will turn around and they will purchase from the publisher the right to do a limited edition.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ron.
Okay.
Louis,
Lewis,
are you done?
Yes.
Are you done?
I'm showing off my rack.
Okay. We all see your rack. You're very nice. You're very nice, dear.
Well, like I said before, you two are having a conversation going, and it's like I'm only sitting in a room full of toys, and you guys are having a conversation going, and it's like the most important man in the world is sitting there in front of you, and you two are having a conversation.
Questions because someone decided to show his rack. You're like this. You like that girl. You like the high school girl that that just blossomed. She just want to like wear the to say, hey, look at me. Like, okay, that's cool, but the teacher is teaching history for the history test, and you're like walking across the room. We all like, hey, could you sit down, please, so we won't fail the test?
You are on a second level. I'm surprised you haven't put a poll in yet.
Well, I got to move that case over here full of the statues, Ron, and then there will be a poll that will go downstairs to the kitchen.
And then the magic really gonna begins.
Yeah, because then you can get to the kitchen and you get that pizza.
Only when you come over.
Ron, what else I want to ask you? Okay.
Anything you want, buddy.
The reason why I asked you that, because how was the process of you? Because I'm going back to the piece I bought with the heavy metal project. So was there any?
Hold on. Attorney Norris is asking a question, showing his rack, and now we're talking about adding a poll. Chris, when you get the number, when I call you, say I'm in trouble. I just need your help. Because show him off my rack all the time. And boom goes the mic.
Yeah.
All right, Ali, what were you saying?
I forgot. No, I didn't. Okay, so what were you able to do that on your own with the heavy metal cover, or do you have to have permission? Like, hey, look, I'm doing.
No, because what they did was because it was a piece that I did, and they did it where it was. They bought the rights to use the cover. Basically, it's like when they hire you to do the cover, they're using the rights to, like, you give them first and second printing rights to go ahead and do the cover, and then they do it. I can't I can't print it with their logo on it, but it's my work. That's how that goes. The rights retain, you retain the rights to your work.
Okay.
So yeah. So, but they got the rights to use it on their magazine, and then that's how that works. They send you the contract, and then it says they get the purchasing rights for publishing, and then the image rights retain with you. It's not a, I don't know how to explain that. I know what you're talking about, because sometimes you do work for a piece and then they turn around, they say, that's it. You can't use it, whatever, they own it, that type of thing.
Okay.
Well, that's what happened in the 70s and 80s, all the way up to the 90s. That's how Image actually started. A lot of the guys would draw, a panel for a comic or a cover. Next thing you know, that's a poster, it's a T-shirt. Artists weren't getting paid for it. That's part of the Image boom. That's part of the reason.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I know. I was around when it all took place, so I'm like, okay. But
all right. Anyway, we're running out of time here tonight, guys. Ron, why don't you tell people where they can find you online for commissions? Are you open for commissions right now? Where can they find you on social media? It is all Angry Geeks approved stuff. You're on this website, but I want to make sure that you're getting yourself out there right now.
Okay. Well, you can follow me on Instagram, RL2VAS. I do also have a art page here on Facebook. And you just email me at leary@hollywoodarts.net, and you can talk to me about commissions. Commissions are always open. I do put this disclaimer out there that it's like I do a lot of publishing work, so publishing jobs do come in and they take priority. So, I mean, I even do that with like the concept art when I'm doing like the stuff with the movies. I turn around, I tell them it's like same thing. It's like, and they understand it because we're so far.
That didn't have to work on, sir.
Well, Pen and Sling was one of the bigger ones that I got to play in. And I'm talking with the producers about another film.
Okay.
So, right. So, and that's why I was able to talk to you and tell you about, like, I put that out there for everybody. It's not just for commissions, it's for other projects, the video games or the commercial work. And they usually typically understand, and they turn around, one guy I work with all the time, I'm like, what's your deadline? He's like, when you get it done. I'm like, okay.
I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know some Comic cons are doing online cons. Are you doing any right now that you want to promote?
It's funny because the Angry Geek Talk, the Angry Geek Show, and alternate you, I do. Yeah, I've got a few shows that are coming up. I have that posted on my Facebook art page. You can check that out. There's too many to try to like get out there. AngryCon. There she is.
Details are coming up.
But yeah, like Ace, when they shut that one down, I was a little disappointed with that. I was looking forward to that. It was gonna be my first one in Boston, where I would be part of it. And that's my it's my backyard. So I was kind of looking forward to it. And then I even had it set up where Hemsworth was going to sign that giant Thor painting. And I'm like, oh, man, mother, that was my birthday present. Yeah.
Ali, where can people find you? Thank you once again, brother, for always jumping in when I need you the most. Thank you. Where can people find you for commissions?
You go find me on Facebook at Ali Montgomery. You can also go to my Instagram, which is Nuinso Doodle at Instagram, NOINXO. Or you can also, you're best to find me on Facebook at Ali Montgomery.
All right. What about your YouTube channel?
The YouTube channel coming soon. Should be a name for it next week. I'm bouncing on about 5 names.
And
that
that's all we got.
5 names.
5 names. There you go. Like 5 days, but different. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in tonight for this very special live episode.
Thank you.
Ron.
You're going to find the. Excuse me, I'm trying to pimp us here.
I was going to
Hi.
thing about Ron. Ron probably doesn't remember. He really, when I first met Ron over at Efield Mall,
What's your name again?
It's Ollie.
Oh,
Ron,
okay.
I was saying you complimented my pieces. Now, very much that stuck with me throughout my artwork. You said I had a very good color scheme with my digital work, so I wanted to say thank you. That was the main reason I wanted to come up here because I asked you to continue my coloring.
Oh, awesome, man! Awesome, thank you.
Anyway, that's all we got. Thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you here next week, right here on the Angry Geek Show, only on the Earplug Podcast Network, and all your
I want to hear from first, Michael.